Guess I don't need the mask. It's just me in the room. Welcome to another episode of Nerds with Badges. And today I want to talk about, well, got a new electronic gadget. This is my Logitech G Cloud, my newest electronic baby. I think I might be a little addicted to collecting electronic stuff. This thing is really is a cloud machine, so you can connect it to your Xbox and your PlayStation, and also your PlayStation, your Xbox account, and you can stream the games through the cloud. So although you can actually download some stuff up here. I don't know if you could probably mod it. I don't know if you can do that, but I know that it does have very powerful emulating capabilities. I know it can emulate like I think PlayStation 2, maybe even like GameCube games. So I will be using it to, primarily to play my Xbox games from Xbox uh, Cloud, depending on how the bandwidth is. You have to have really good bandwidth to be able to take advantage of these types of things. I think that Google Stadia, for example, really utilize the cloud-based technology, but unfortunately, I think that the system they made a lot of mistakes. Google made a lot of mistakes. They had something really good, and I think that in time, cloud gaming will become a lot more normal. I just think that right now, most people don't have the bandwidth to take advantage of that technology. So what is basically cloud, and for those that don't know, um, say you have like your phone, and you want to play the newest, trying to think of a game off the top of my head, like Call of Duty, the newest Call of Duty, and you want to play it just like how it would look and play on your Xbox at home with all the bells and whistles, all the incredible graphics and the sound and all that. But your phone, even as powerful as your phone might be, it will not be. It will like explode if you try to like play like the latest Call of Duty. I mean, you're talking like a game that's probably like 100 gigs and 4K resolution and all this other stuff. So the cloud is just think of the cloud as this huge warehouse somewhere in you know think of it somewhere as it's a little warehouse somewhere in the middle of nowhere and wherever. So this your phone gets the signal from this warehouse that has the Xbox or your PlayStation or whatever video game system, and it beams a signal to your phone. So your phone is able to so your phone is actually kind of like acting like a TV signal, like a TV that's picking up a broadcast from somewhere. So because of that, we're at the age now, we're at the point in history now where you can actually have an Xbox account and not actually have an Xbox. But the downside is that you got to have a good internet connection because it's not your game is going to be laggy. So that's the technology that Google introduced a couple of years ago, the Google Stadia, which was a service that allowed you to stream games. But the problem with the Google Stadia is that there were a lot of features that they didn't give, that they promised right off the bat. And also, I think that they needed to like have a better plan. Like I don't know, maybe they should have sat down and talked to some people that work with Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo because their strategy was just kind of like weird. Like you could buy the games, which was cool because on Amazon has a service similar to the Google Stadia, but Amazon you can't actually buy any games. You just pay a monthly fee and then you can stream the games that they have available in their library, which I don't like because that means that if your membership runs out, then you just lose all your games and you can't download the games and play offline. So you're just like locked into that paywall. At least with Google Stadia, you could pay the monthly fee and you could get like access to games in the library. But if you want to buy games to play, you could play those games, but you don't have to pay like a monthly fee to play the games that you own. But like, of course, since you can't download the games, no internet means that you can't access your games. So that was the downside to Google Stadia. At least my, and the system is actually gonna shut. They're gonna shut down in January. Unfortunately, they're giving everybody refunds. And Microsoft lets you stream games through the cloud as well, but you can stream the games. I guess you can stream the games you already own. Still kind of new to the cloud gaming with Xbox and just trying to figure out how it works. Now, I used to play PlayStation Now. Was actually Sony beat everybody to the punch because they were doing cloud gaming. I think before anyone else. When I used to work security downtown, I used to stream games on my, I think it was my Vita, my PlayStation Vita. I think it might have been my PSP. I'm not even sure. So long ago. I used to do security downtown at the Ronald Reagan. No, it was it was an old post office downtown, right across the street from the Union Station. It's a lot of good memories going back, but it was very blaggy. And then there was another service called One Live, and I know they had like a little box that you could buy. You could stream the games through that. And I think you could download the games too. Um, Nintendo, since the system, the Switch is not that powerful, but the ingenious idea, which is what I was saying before, where you don't have to have a console to actually play the games, or you could have like sucky old computer, your tired old phone that's 1,000 years old, but it can still receive that signal from depending on how your bandwidth is. And they've improved the technology a lot. So your bandwidth, if your bandwidth is halfway decent, you can still get a good experience depending on what kind of games that you're playing. So Nintendo, knowing that their system isn't powerful enough, which is becoming a big issue, I'll talk about that later. Some of the really big games that are very demanding, they can just stream the games onto the Switch through the cloud and let you play those games. And so, it's a nice little way of like skirting around. So that's why I was saying we're at the point now where you really don't. I mean, you can even just have an app now. You can have I think, yeah, well, the Xbox, I keep saying beta, but they have they have the X Cloud, and when you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you can stream games. So I know that I think it's the Samsung TVs are going to have the Xbox Game Pass app installed already. So they're really, we're getting to that point. They're making consoles now that don't even have like a disk drive. So you're downloading the game or you're streaming the game. And even the older systems, the old Xbox can actually stream the new games that are on the new model Xbox, which is really cool because they're kind of like closing down the well, I won't say closing down, but they're kind of like I'm starting to see like games come out that are not coming out for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. They're just kind of skipping that generation because of the technological limitations of the hardware. So Nintendo right now, they just came out with this Pokemon game, which is getting a lot of controversy. I'm not really into Pokemon. I do like Pikachu, and I used to watch the cartoon, but the game came out recently, and the game is like getting blasted by a lot of people. And I don't know. I feel like sometimes when these things happen, it's like sharks in the water. They smell blood, and everybody wants to get in. Um, but for Nintendo to come out with a game like a first party type game, is the world getting ready to come to an end when Nintendo puts out a first party game that's not, usually the Nintendo first party games are just, I don't know if they go into the future and they stole technology from aliens or they're using magic, but it's usually it's usually pretty amazing what they can do with their technology. So this Pokemon game is a lot of people are talking about it, and Bayonetta 3, which came out last month, which I bought and love playing it. And I think the games, some of the games they have like certain styles, and so it can get away with not having the most powerful technology. But we are getting to the point where Nintendo used to be like back in the day. The N64 was pretty powerful, but it was memory constraints, memory problems, well, storage issues. The Super Nintendo was like so much more powerful than the Sega Genesis, but the processor wasn't quite the same. So games tended to run smoother, faster on the Genesis, and Genesis had like a kind of like an edgy, more of an edgy kind of image, because they actually had blood in Mortal Kombat, and the Super Nintendo did not. But Nintendo used to have like cutting edge technology, like with all their shit. I mean, part of my French, but they did. And now, they've gotten almost to a point where it's like somewhat gimmicky, but the games are like they have like a certain style, tend to be more in the cartoony style. They do have the occasional adult, violent, not for kids games on the systems. Don't get me wrong, they do. Um, but the reputation, and for the most part, the systems that they're making are not really made to handle, incredible graphics that are like, cutting edge, amazing, you know, ray tracing, and you know, pushing all this, incredible imagery on the screen and the 4K, and Nintendo. I would like to see what Nintendo could do, because they're doing really well. The Switch is like the best selling system, and they make really good games. They're first party games, but what they could do if they were to take like their ingenuity and combine it with like, you know technology that could actually perform, like blow people away. And I don't want to say I'm not a graphics whore, but it would be nice to see what Nintendo could do with like really true cutting edge technology, because we haven't seen that in a long time. I mean, honestly, the Zelda game that came out, Breath of the Wild, it was awesome, but you could see. Um, I mean, I used to play it on my Wii U. I think that they have been able to do really amazing games, but you get into the point where the hardware is having a hard time. It's not like they can't keep coming out with good games. I mean, they could keep coming out with really good games, but you may be held back in the long run with what you can do creatively, because you'll have to make sacrifices, because you can't do this in the game because the system can't handle it. So you don't have that much of a problem with the Xbox and the PlayStation. Although I still feel like I said the same thing about the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I felt like they rushed the machines out. Like they were like, maybe they could have waited a little longer. I mean, especially with the Xbox, because from the get go, when the Xbox One was announced, they put their specs out. PlayStation 4 had their specs out. I clearly could see that the PlayStation 4 was more capable. I did like the versatility of the Xbox and all the apps that they had, and I liked using the Connect, talking to it, and then they gradually downscaled that functionality of the system. All the systems have their strengths and weaknesses. Nintendo, has their really cool, you know, amazing games that they do. The Mario's and the Zeldas and the Metroids. Nobody else does games. Like, I mean, Nintendo. Like I said, they went to the future and stole technology or something. But the Xbox Series S and X and the PlayStation 5, these systems are struggling with some of these games, or they're not really doing stuff that like blew me away. Like when the PlayStation 4 came out and the Xbox One came out, there were some things that they were doing, but mostly it just looked better. It just looked better than the older systems. And I guess I was looking for more with the Xbox. I was hoping that we would see more. I mean, ray tracing. All I could hear was ray tracing, ray tracing, ray tracing. And you hear so much about it in frame rates per second, frames per second, and we're still I still think that they could have waited, another year. They could have waited maybe a year or two, but then the pandemic happened and these systems came out, and you still cannot walk into a store and buy a PlayStation 5, and you still can't walk to a store and buy a Xbox Series X. You can find a Series S, but you can't find a Series X or a PlayStation 5. There's two models for the PlayStation 5. There's the model that doesn't play the discs; it's just digital and downloads. Then you have the model that does discs and everything. Xbox, same thing. They have a a system that doesn't do discs, and it's only digital. Excuse me, but it's significantly less powerful than the Series X. So the Series S. So you got the Series X, which is the big brother, and then you got the Series S, it's little brother. Little brother really just doesn't do 4K, and it doesn't take discs. So you get that's a very budget price machine, which is now they chopped it down to 250, which is normally 300, but it's down to 250. And the Series S, the Series X, and the PlayStation 5 are both 500. But if you get the PlayStation 5 digital only, I think that one is maybe 450 or maybe 400. I think it might be 400. Yeah, I think it is 400. So you're shaving $100 off the PlayStation 5 if you don't care about not being able to play discs. I like having the discs, even though we're getting to the point now where discs are just kind of you know well, I know that they were saying that the Call of Duty came out, the new one, and there's only like uh, I mean, a few megabytes of data of information on the actual disk. So like, what the hell do they need the disk for? I mean, if you still got to download like 100 gigs on your PlayStation or your Xbox. So what? You take the disk and you sell it and I don't know. It's just kind of weird, man. I don't know. Like I don't know. I guess companies are trying to save money or something. I don't know what the rationale. And I even hear that you get some of these games, you get the limited edition, the grand super duper version. And it doesn't even actually come with a disc. You just get you get like little statues and books and things and nice collectible stuff. But there's a code for the actual game, and maybe there's a case, but there's no game, no system, no disc in there. So yeah, I'm just like, man, I really miss the days when you just put a game in the system and it just worked and you didn't have to do these damn updates. And this is kind of like, I don't know. There's definitely a downside to it. And they're releasing these games. Some of these games are being released and they're not ready. Obviously, they're not ready. And yeah, so people still buy the games and support the companies, man. But I think people, we need to start like maybe sending letters to these companies and telling them, y'all need to just chill and slow down. Don't release the game if it's not ready. Trying to, this crunch or whatever, trying to get the games out for the holidays, trying to make that money. But so, but I was really, I was meaning to talk more about this thing here and why I bought it. See, I really want to play more games on my Xbox, and I feel like when I'm home, I don't really have as much time to play as I would like. So when I'm here at work, I can connect through the cloud and play my library. I think I can connect to my Xbox at home and stream the games. But there's a lot of games that Microsoft has in their ecosystem. So even though you can't download any Xbox games up here, which sucks. You can't. I don't like that, but there are a lot of games you can download from the Google Play Store, and there's RetroArch, which is the emulating software. So there's you can download their workarounds, I guess, and I guess I can stream my games from my Steam library. I don't know how that works exactly. Like I just got this thing like Saturday. It came in the mail, so I just kind of played with it and made sure I spent like forever updating everything and downloading all the apps that I wanted. It has all the usual subjects, suspects, Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and all that stuff. So if I want to watch movies on it, but they made it. There's no stand on this thing, so you have to like lay it down. It's like I don't know. I guess somebody will make a stand for it. I did get this case to put it in, but when I want to watch it, I have to lay it down. And there's the power button there, the volume button, and there's a little place where I can put like I guess a micro SD card, and we got the little speakers here, and it's actually pretty loud. We got the USB-C, and thank God they put a headphone jack if I don't want to use Bluetooth. And I was surprised, shocked, really. That there's no vents, but I mean it got a little warm when I was doing all the downloads the other day, but I guess it's not like my computer. I mean, especially my MSI gaming laptop. That thing gets so hot. The Switch gets hot, and the Steam Deck definitely gets hot. But most of this stuff is doing. It's not really doing a lot of heavy lifting because it's primarily streaming technology. But it's very well made, and I gotta say, I think it's a quality product. And as cloud becomes bigger, and they were actually endorsed by Microsoft, and I was hoping that more companies, like I don't know, I did see a PlayStation app. I think I installed it. I'm gonna check it out. I swear all these damn passwords, and I completely forgot like my login info for my stupid password. I don't have to change my password. This past couple of years, I've had to change my password so many times for so many different accounts, and it's just insanity. And I got I got hacked a few times. It's like it's just so crazy. So all these, Sony and Google and implemented all these different security measures, and like sometimes just logging into stuff, and if you're using something for the first time you got to verify, and it's just like, oh my god, why do you hackers have to like make our lives miserable by doing all this stuff? Because the more crazy stuff that y'all do, the more it's just gonna make it's like now we got video cameras every fucking where because of stupid people doing stupid stuff. You can't even like you have like no privacy anymore. So it's like a ripple effect. It's just ran over. And I don't know if I talked about did I talk about Black Panther? I don't know if I talked about Black Panther or not. But I did go see Black Panther the other day, and I really enjoyed that movie. Uh, I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it more than I did Black Adam, because I guess it was more of an emotional connection. I think with the characters. Although I did, I did get the action figures for Hawkman, and I want to eventually get the action figures for Black Adam. I've seen some really nice ones, and I would really like to get a really cool action figure. Hopefully, I don't know if McFarlane has done any like Black Panther action figures, like the ones. I would like to see the some really cool Black Panther action figures with where Chadwick Boseman is not, he's not wearing the mask. So I don't know if they can do that. I don't know. Maybe there might be some issues with copyrights or something. But I know McFarlane does really nice action figures and statues. He's got a reputation, so it'd really be nice if he did like an amazing kick-ass Black Panther statue. So I'm gonna be doing another show probably next week, but I'm gonna try to work with the other footage that I shot, the footage that I talked about before, the footage that I shot that I wasn't able to use because of sound issues. I want to see if I can put that together and put because we really got some really good stuff, and so the video is done, but you can't hear what we're saying. It just kind of sucks. So I have the raw files of the videos, so I'm gonna have to try my hand at editing. But it's just like I feel like it's something that I'm gonna eventually learn as time goes by, because it's just like I mean, there's nothing wrong with with learning. It just helps you save money when you learn how to edit your own stuff. I mean that's there it is. Um, I think that about covers it. I can't really think of anything else. I felt like there was some other stuff that I wanted to mention, but really I wanted to talk about my new Logitech toy, and I'm gonna try to see if I can play some Xbox games on it tonight. And I don't know if I'll be taking that on trips with me. I think it'll still be the Switch and the Steam Deck. This will probably primarily be for me when I'm at work on my breaks, or I don't know. I might take it with me on trips. I mean, depending on how confident I am with my emulating knowledge, because I have a for my emulating. What this little baby here for my emulating. This is a Retroid Pocket. I think it's yes, Retroid Pocket. Then they came out with like a new model, like feel like a month after I bought this. I was so mad. And now they've got like yeah, I think there are even two new models out. But this thing it lets me play like a lot of like older games. But I mean, it's like a tablet, really. Just think of it as an Android tablet, but it's the form factor of a game console. But I've seen retro gaming explode over the last few years. So a lot of people are going back and playing these older games, and some of the older games are hard to find because companies don't make them. Whatever the copyright issues or whatever. There are games that you can find online. You can find the games online, and you can just you rip the what they call it. You just rip it onto the files onto your emulating device, and you're good to go. Because I mean, if you can't buy the games, or the game is like $1 zillion to buy it, then what are you going to do? And there's a drive to preserve games, and it's important because there's a lot of games out there. People put their hard work and creativity into making these games, and no one will see these games because they're not available anywhere anymore. So it's nice that you can find the games, um, and also you're not doing anything wrong. I don't think. If I think it's a slippery slope, but I do think that if it's something that you own already and you're just re-downloading it from the internet, I think that it's legally it's still yours. So there's that. But I think anyway. So I got to get ready for work, but I wanted to do a quick show and just get some things off my chest. Um, really, just about. I just want to talk about the emulation and the cloud and stuff because I mean that's where the industry's headed. Whether we like it or not. I still prefer being able to get a cartridge or a disc. Cartridge is actually better; they last longer. But a physical device that I can play. If I get I want to pass it down to someone later, and they can pass it down. You take care of these things; they could last forever. I don't think disc. You got to be careful with disc because I excuse me. I have had some discs that just stopped working. I mean, there's no scratches or nothing. I think something just happens to the plastic or whatever the material is that they use over time. But cartridges, they seem to have a very, pretty much infinite life if you take care of them. And there are newer systems now that are coming out, smaller like emulating type systems that are doing cartridges, which is interesting. So I really wonder though when the next Switch comes out, what is it going to be? I mean, I would imagine it's probably still going to be cartridges unless they go the route of just being digital only. But I think it'd be nice to them to just give people that option, if they want this or if they want physical, if they want digital, they could have the option to get, maybe one will just not have the digital, one will not have the disc, but to have a disk drive in a small machine like that, it's just kind of costly. And the disk drives, they don't last that long. Ask me how I know. I still have my Vita and my PSP. They still work, but those things break down. You gotta get them repaired. So anyway, that's it for now. And enjoy your holiday weekend. And whether or not you have a 4-day weekend, you know, do something cool, spend time with some friends and family. Be safe.